Hi everyone, I'm Vampy and today I'm going to talk to you about the electric eel wheel fold. So I'm going to start off with going over all the bits you've got in the box, how to put it together and then how to use it. It's a bit more complicated than some of the other e-spinners, so it might take a while, but I'm going to try and be as quick as possible. So first thing, you have your manual and your angle of twist card, and on the back of that you've got your wraps per inch. Then we have a foot pedal. Yours will not look like this. I have lost the one that comes with it, but this will work for demonstration purposes.
Here is the foot pedal that actually ships with it. This was the one that was preferred by the electric eel wheel community, and all you do to activate it is you take your foot or your hand and you press on this end, and that causes these two metal plates to connect, which activates the switch.
Then you'll have your power supply. You have this part, the power brick, and a cable. The cable has a North American plug on it, so if you live elsewhere, I recommend you get a replacement cable that has this socket, this plug on, and then on the other end of that, your local mains power supply. And then you can use this power brick, and you just have to replace one part of the cable. Saves you having to buy like a travel adapter that's a big thing sticking out of the wall. Then we have the spinner itself, I'll get to in a minute. All your little bits and pieces to go with it, we will be needing some of them. And there'll be 2 bags of bobbins like this. So I'll show you how to put together the bobbin just so I can get this out of the way. So you'll take a middle. And 2 ends. The ends are different. One has a whirl on, one is flat. So make sure you've got one of each. And each bobbin has a bearing inside. They'll already be in, but do just check that. And then they simply screw on. And there we have an assembled bobbin. So I will clear all these bits out of the way. I'll keep that. Now this is the spinner and it's all folded up, battery case, spinner, and they're held together with fairly strong magnets. I pull that apart. The flyer is stored in the bottom, and this is our top part, and this has our brake band and the 2 maidens. And to put these into place, you just literally flip them round, and again those are held in with magnets, so now they're fairly sturdily held into place. So that's how you assemble the body and put it on the base. Again, just line them up and put them together. Do be careful not to pinch your fingers in there, the magnets are quite strong. To put the flyer in, there is a big hole on one end and a small hole in the other. Just put the front into the bigger hole. Make sure this brake band is out of the way, and let me get my bobbin in. The bobbin goes, so the end with the whirl is at the far end of the flyer. And this is fairly snug. There are O-rings to keep it all smoothly running and quiet and minimise vibration, so you do need to push moderately hard to get that in. Then we'll pop this brake band in. Okay, and now we have a few other bits and pieces that are all in this bag. So we'll need a drive band. I should have put that on before, but it'll only take me a second to put it on. We have an Orifice reducer, and this just goes in the front here to, if you're spinning finer yarn, to minimise the banging around of the yarn in the orifice. We have the orifice hook. We've got some magnets on the side to attach that to, and then we have the yarn guides. Let me grab some of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now these, we can see it. There's 2 little lugs here. You can put an extra O-ring around, and they are included to give this even more of a grip. I found that's not necessary, so I'm not going to bother with that. I'll install these 2 on each arm. Make sure that as it's facing you, the loop is that way around. If you put it on that way around, it won't work. So I'll put 2 on this arm and 2 on the other arm. Do make sure you put them on both arms to keep it nicely balanced when it's in use. Right, and then to put the band on, I can just pull this front forwards. Stick the band over there and put that back on, and then pop the band round the pulley. That is set up, ready to go. I will quickly show you dismantling it, just so you can see how to take it apart. So I would pop the band off, pop that band off, take these 2 off, take those 2 off, pull the back down, bobbin off, flyer out, take the bottom off, and pass the band inside here. Is that the right way around? No, that's the wrong way around. So this one with the big bearing goes in first. So that's your base. Then in your base here, all your other bits will fit. There's a little notch here for the end of the flyer that fits in there. Then I can put in those and that. And we have a little groove on each side here for the brake band to go in. And again, these magnets are very strong, so do be careful of your fingers. And that there, and that's it all put away. So it's fairly quick to do. I will possibly cut out the piece in the video of me putting it back together again, because you've already seen that. But you can see it is a fairly quick process to stow it for travel. I took that to push the orifice reducer in on my lap, because it's a bit hard to do with my arms out in front of me. So this is all assembled. Now let's go over the controls quickly. Most of them will be familiar if you've used other electrical wheel products. First one here is your speed dial. That's literally minimum that way, maximum that way. This is your on-off switch, off, on. This is your tension, so that adjusts the take-up, how quickly the arm pulls onto the bobbin. And over this side, Z and S direction switch. So I've got it on Z for spinning my singles, and I have my orifice hook there, ready and waiting. The one thing that is new is this display here. That will show you your RPM, the speed the flyer is turning at, and it's used for a couple of other adjustment bits that we will talk about later. So for the time being, we're all ready to go. I'm going to go and grab some yarn for a leader and return, and we'll get set up spinning. So I'm back with a leader, and while I was not recording, also plugged it in. So I have the mains power going into the left socket and the foot pedal going into the right socket. Now to attach my leader, I'm going to do a double half hitch around the bobbin, as that'll mean it'll be secure regardless of whether I'm spinning singles or plying. So I've got about an arm span of yarn here, about 1.5 meters, and I've tied it in a loop. I pass the end of the loop behind the bobbin, the loop's behind the bobbin, and take the long end and pull it through. So that's 1 half hitch. Then I make another loop here in front, pass the long end round behind, and pull that through. And now, to snug that down, I've got a double half hitch that will be tight in both directions, so it doesn't matter if I'm spinning or plying, it won't slip. So before I start spinning, I will go over the controls, and this leader will just wind on from the side, it's fine. So I'm all plugged in. The speed dial is at 0, the on-off switch is on off, so I've got power to it, but it's not turned on. Get it going, just turn it on. Now speed dial's down, so that's not not turning, and you can see my my display helpfully tells me it's not turning. So if I turn up the speed, then the RPM dial, I think that's showing up. The RPM dial is showing me that's now doing 400 RPM, and I can keep turning it up. So that's one way to stop and start it, is simply with the speed dial. But also I can use this on-off switch, and that will start it up again at the same speed that I left it off. So if I want a repeatable speed, it's good to use that button. But likewise, I can have it on and I can use the foot pedal, and that will also turn it off and turn it on again. So I have those three options: switch, dial, foot pedal, to turn it on and off. So let's turn that down and have it in the off position, so it's all off and ready to go. And I will thread up my leader here to do a little bit of spinning on it. Now, before I start spinning, you see I've just set this up, I haven't done any practicing, so I want to make sure my tension is going to be kind of about right. So I'll give the brake band a bit of a push, and that looks about right to me. If you have a look at the spring, it's not opened up at all, but it is taut. So I know from experience that's about how I like it. You may prefer it a bit tighter, but if it's much looser than this, it's not going to take up. So before I attach any fibre, I will just play around with this leader thread and the tension, and make sure it's taken up as I like it. So turn it on and get the speed going, and yeah, that's a nice low take up, so I can pull it off the bobbin if I want to, but it still winds on. So that's ready to go, and that, just put my fibre through the loop of the leader, and there we go, I'm ready to spin. And that really is all there is to it. If you want a bit more advice on the actual how to spin part, there is several, I can't remember, 4 or 5 part series on the Dreaming Robots website under the Electrical Wheel 6.1 page, called E-Spinners for Beginners, and that shows you how to choose your fibre and draft and ply and do everything you need to know to get started. And while it does use the 6.1, the controls are essentially the same, except this one has got your display, so you can more easily get a repeatable speed. So I've shown you that. Now I've got a couple of new things to show you on this that are not an option with the 6.1. And that's, I've turned it off with the foot pedal over there, and you can see it still says a speed, and it's just got some little flashing dots. This lets me change the speed and get it all set up in advance. So if I know that I want to be spinning at, say, let's turn it up right, 955 RPM. If I've been doing a project at that speed, I've messed around, changed the bobbin, nudged the knob, I can turn it on with the foot pedal, turn it off, and get this. I can spend ages tweaking the exact speed I want, and then when I've got the speed right on the display, press the foot switch again, and it will start up at the speed I said. It takes a couple of seconds to get used to it, and the final speed is slightly off. So I set it for 955. This is 960 RPM, so it's very, very close. So again, I can turn that off, and I can choose a different speed and get all ready. So now when I start it, it'll be 430. And if that's too complicated, I don't have to worry about setting the speed in advance. I can literally just turn it off, turn it on, go, oh, what speed do I want it? Let's see, right, and set it that way, and then turn it off and it'll remember the speed. So several options there. And one more new option is about speed profiles. This machine can go at over 3000 RPM, but most of you probably aren't going to want to be spinning that fast, certainly not most of the time. So what we've got is we've got 2 profiles. One of them maxes out at 1500, and that's the default that it comes with. And then there's the faster speed profile for those of you who want to go over 1500 RPM. and how to access that. It does say in the instruction manual, but also if you can't remember, it says on the bottom here. So hold the pedal while plugging in. 1 is the lower 1500 profile, 2 is the 3000. So I'll show you how to do that. So as it said, hold the pedal while plugging in, unplug it, hold the pedal, plug it back in. And now it says SP2, I can turn that dial, SP1, 2, 1. So 1 is the slower 1500 RPM max, 2 is the faster 3000 RPM max. So I'll put it on 1, let go of that, and now that's stored, that's ready to go. And I'll show you that now. Top speed, that's 1545 it's settled down at. And do the same thing again, unplug it, hold the foot pedal down and plug it back in, turn the dial. Now that says SP2, so I can let go and turn it off again. Now this, when I turn it up to max, will be its full top speed. So 3055. So that's very, very fast, and most of you probably won't be using it at that speed, but for things like spinning cotton or a very fast fine yarn, it's really useful to have that option. And I've been moderately quick, I think. I've covered all the features. If you do have any questions or anything that I've missed, do let me know in the comments and I will come back and reply. Thank you.